I've had my fair share of criticisms about the season so far, but this episode is everything I could have wanted. It told a story of its own, but did so much to set up the rest of the season. One of my big critiques with the first few episodes was that it didn't feel like we were leading anywhere bigger. Din went to Mandalore, and then by the second episode he had already completed his mission, so then we spent 2 episodes not really doing anything. But this episode finally gave us a tease at what to expect for the rest of the season. We start off with a very dramatic scene, where Gorrian Shard and the pirates decimate Navarro, which was a good connection to the previous episode. It was rumored after his first appearance that Shard would be an antagonist in the upcoming Skeleton Crew series, so that was always in the back of my mind while watching the episode, with me just wondering how it would connect and if this was a character that I'd want to see more of. But at this point, it appears like it doesn't matter, since he goes down with the ship later on. I really enjoyed the conversation over hologram between the two of them, and it showed us a little more of what Greef Karga is like right now, since we haven't spent much time with him recently. He puts on the tough act, and can back it up to a point, but he was visibly uncomfortable whenever his bluff was called. Now that it looks like we'll be spending much more time on Navarro, I'm looking forward to getting to see him more often. We then head over to a New Republic outpost on Adelphi, and even though it was small and relatively insignificant, I did enjoy getting to see the New Republic here. The one episode on Coruscant offered a look at the new government at its highest peak in the capital, but here we see some of the smaller people who make sure things run smoothly in the Outer Rim. The setting was nice and felt very rebellion-esque, and the different music in the background was also a nice touch. There isn't much in the scene beyond Teva getting the news about Navarro, but I was glad that he was back and set to have a major role in the episode. And then, oh my. Even something as small as the New Republic pilot being a Lasat made me perk up, and I didn't even realize at that point that it was Zeb's debut in live action. I've expressed my love of Star Wars Rebels on here before, and this season has had so many small connections like this, or the Purgle, that just make me even more excited for what we all know is coming. There also seem to be a lot of unique alien designs in the episode, which is something I really appreciate about the series. For the most part, they all looked great, and they fit within the story well without feeling forced. Teva takes the message straight to Coruscant to be granted reinforcements, and here we see some of the problems in the New Republic and their indifference to whatever is growing out of their borders. Teva doesn't exactly have good evidence to support his hunch, but the Colonel is also very quick to dismiss the thought of helping once he learns that the planet isn't a member of the New Republic, even though it would mean letting people suffer. It's already been brought up a few times in the series about how the New Republic has ignored any sign of a re-emerging empire in the Outer Rim, but I hope that continues to come up, because those small mentions and scenes can turn into a really good story. That's probably what Rangers of the New Republic was meant to be about, but it doesn't look like that's happening anymore. Elia Kane then makes her presence known, and now that we know she's still Imperial, we're starting to get more and more scenes like this. I don't know if I'd call her a good villain yet, since she hasn't done much, but she is an irritation, because she's just able to stand there and act reformed while she sways her superiors, like here bringing up the information that Navarro isn't a member planet. We also finally get a mention of Moff Gideon here, and we learn that he supposedly didn't make it to trial. Even though it was a quick line, I was glad that they finally mentioned something about him, because it keeps us updated about where the story is heading possibly. After not receiving any aid from the New Republic, Teva goes to inform Din about the situation, and something that really caught my eye here, but was the case throughout the episode, was how good the cinematography could be at certain moments. Like all series, it's been up and down, but this season has overall looked really incredible. We then get to what I believe to be the biggest Mandalorian live-action sequence, other than maybe the one from Season 1. The preparation scene did a good job of setting the tone, and I thought it was edited together very well to keep it interesting. This episode was on the longer side, but everything with the pacing and editing made it so I never really found myself to be bored, or lose interest. Both the combat in the air and on the surface was choreographed well, and the episode did a good job of creating stakes so that this means something. Of course there are citizens in Navarro at stake, but the speech that Paz Vizsla has earlier on made me think about how the help they were providing on Navarro, and how they were sacrificing themselves for this man that they had fought against earlier on. It made me hope that no one ended up dead, because they were fighting this battle that had nothing to do with them. The battle ends with Shard crashing into the surface, so assuming he's dead, I guess the rumor was wrong and he won't be appearing in Skeleton Crew, because I don't think he's surviving that. However, Vane did abandon him and leave the planet, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see him down the line again. The Mandalorians are given a piece of land on Navarro, so it looks like we'll be spending more time there. And then the Armorer and Bo-Katan have a little talk. This was where the episode really started to set up the rest of the season. A question I had after we first saw Bo-Katan this season was why she was so quick to give up on her pursuit of the Darksaber and her goal of ruling Mandalore. And while we didn't exactly get an answer to that, we do see that maybe she didn't give it up completely. Now that she found the Mythosaur, she doesn't need the Darksaber to unite Mandalore. Rather, she has a creature from Mandalorian legends, which I'd say outranks a special lightsaber. Because she's walked both sides, the Armorer wants Bo-Katan to unite all Mandalorians using the Mythosaur, and because the two of them keep to themselves, there's definitely going to be some conflict down the line, possibly between Bo-Katan and Din. Between this and the final scene, I guess the Bad Batch wrapping up as well, I'm back to fully being on board with this season and cannot wait to see what comes next. The episode ends with Teva scouting a section of space, where he comes across an attacked Lambda shuttle. This entire scene was shot so well to create tension and suspense, and we get a lot of information out of it too. It's confirmed that Moff Gideon was broken out of New Republic custody, but maybe not by Imperials. There's a chance it could always be misleading us, but after the way Season 2 ended with the New Republic taking Gideon, the Mandalorians going in and taking him for themselves also makes sense. From what we know, he has a long list of crimes against them specifically, so they'd have their reasons to be upset. I do wonder if it is the same covert we've been following this whole time though, or if there's someone else out there. The Pirate obtains a near-perfect balance between story and action, and offers a lot of details to set up the rest of the season, earning a rating of 9 out of 10. Let me know what you thought of this episode in the comments below. Remember to like the video, and subscribe for more reviews like this, and remember to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Thank you all for watching, and remember, the Force will be with you, always.